Alright, boys and girls, welcome back to Drive-Thru for a 3-mix. Alright, completing the square. This is a skill used to solve equations so that you can do them in your head. So it's really a skill mostly for our honors and accelerated kids. First thing we're going to do here is divide each side by 4. You get x squared plus 5x plus 1/4 equals 0. Then the thing I like to do now is move my 1/4 over to the other side. Subtract 1/4 from each side. You get x squared plus 5x is negative 1/4. Okay? So far so good, Carson? Now, I'm going to take my b, which is 5. I'm going to take half of it. So that's 5/2. And I'm going to square it. So I get 25/4. And I'm going to add that to this side. Okay? But I cannot just go along willy-nilly adding things to one side. So I'm going to add it to that side. And that's going to make that nice, isn't it? So what I get over here is x squared plus 5x plus 25/4 equals, sorry. I jumped ahead of it. This should be 25 equals 24/4, okay? Which is just going to be 6. Alright, so now this, if you did it right, is always going to be a perfect square. Okay? And it's going to be two numbers that multiply to be 5 and add to be 25/4. Sorry, multiply to be 25/4 and add to be 5, and that's going to be x plus, just take the square root of that. Okay? Now, to solve this thing, we got to take the square root of both sides. On this side, you get x plus 5/2. And on this problem, over here, you get radical 6 or negative radical 6. Remember that when you take the square root of something, you get two answers. So x is radical 6 plus 5/2, or, sorry, that should be a minus 5/2, excuse me. Because, you know, I solved that previous line by subtracting 5/2. Or it's negative radical 6 minus 5/2. Does that help? Now let's see if I could do that without dividing by 4, if it would make it any easier. So if I just had 4x squared plus 20x, move it over. Here's how you do this, Carson. This might be easier. Okay, then take half of 5. This is basically going to be the same thing. Nope, this is going to be no easier, so I'm done. It's going to be the exact same thing. So just stick with that first method that we did. Got it? Does that help?